Colts are top 10 at defending the pass, and they'll be going up against the Jets, who will need to solve that secondary. Set for the call of this Week 15 matchup, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. We welcome you to the heart of the Hoosier State in the Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana, and Lucas Oil Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New York Jets and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. They come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here. Losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, whatever promise they had to start the season fully evaporated now as they come in losers of 6 straight.
And sometimes when you're in the middle of a losing streak, being on the road is exactly what you want. You can only depend on each other. Let's see if they can use that as fuel in this ball game.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led by a former national champion at Alabama. It's A.J. McCarron.
There's a lot of good to watch in the game last week, wasn't there? I mean, he did throw 2 touchdown passes. That was impressive. And he's so close, isn't he? The 3 interceptions killed him and his team. That was costly. But if he just cleans that up a little bit, there's a reason for optimism with this team and this passer.
On first down, McCarron. And incomplete to open things up. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Second down now after the incompletion. Shotgun snap from McCarron. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down. And let's go through the starting defense for Indianapolis.
Barkevius Mingo looks like he should be an excellent outside linebacker in the NFL, but he's never quite found his footing in the league. A former first-round pick in Cleveland, didn't really reach the heights that they expected. Spent a year in New England where he won a Super Bowl playing mainly special teams. And now in 2017 with the Indianapolis Colts, hoping to fulfill that promise he showed while he was at LSU and become a blitzing linebacker who can get to the quarterback.
Now here's McCarron on third. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown pass.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
Here's the offense, and if you're the defense, Charles, you really have to focus on that guy that's highlighted on the screen.
You're talking about pure speed. T.Y. Hilton can get down the middle of the field and really stretch a defense.
I'm ready now for 2nd and 9. On the ground, it's West again. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And the big meat on the D-line. We'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Locke. Goodwin able to haul it in. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down.
Well, they obviously red man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Burke?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
The hook up good to Marquise Wilson. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And now a first down following that long gain. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. The numbers last week for T. West. 22 carries, 92 yards.
He's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open downfield.
No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for a loss. He's going to air it out for Dorsett. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
I remember Philip Dorsett coming out of the University of Miami ready to hit the league. All we talked about was speed, speed, speed. Just throw it to him, and you've got a great chance at a completion, but not that time.
Not that time. They tried a deep downfield with his speed, but incomplete. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Jets offensive unit ready to get going here. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and
and
now
out.
they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. A.J. McCarron looking to throw. His throw incomplete. Robbie Anderson, the man he was looking for. And that'll make it third down.
When we start looking for big-time corners, we're going to start with athleticism. But without technique, you're not going to make plays as one we just saw there.
McCarron from the gun on third. Found his target. It's Anderson. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him going in a nice groove where he becomes a little more consistent throwing the football?
Because you miss those first 2, but you get up the 0 for 4 range. That can be a little tricky, but able to settle in, hopefully.
Yeah, now you won't have any confidence issues. Now you can kind of get it back even with just one throw.
Let's go! Again, they'll throw it with A.J. McCarron. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. Now it's Luck. He hits West underneath. A gain of 4 on the play, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Luck on 3rd down. Setting up the screen for West. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
On 2nd and 10, Luck. And his throw is incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. Throwing on 3rd down, Luck. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Illegal forward pass, offense.
So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Colts hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. And we were scoreless up until this point in the 2nd quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along? Or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. New York set to take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football. I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Oh, it's a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and inches.
Still want to be prepared for a pass.
carry. This is McGuire. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. And, Charles, you look at this offense, their struggles moving the ball well documented. Dead last in the NFL in first downs, but signs of life there.
Yeah, and you and I do, I think, a really good job of respecting the game and respecting the teams. But this squad, they're in a position now where their fan base gets excited when they pick up a first down. They cheer almost like they picked up a touchdown. Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Ooh, I like it.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Jets move the chains.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Larry Ridley. Larry will have the highlights of this first half, but he won't have touchdowns because we haven't had any to this point.
But there's still time, though, partner.
Watch it now, Marty, Marty. All right, now, look at 56. Lucky 56.
Here's McGuire. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they've certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And an alley to run. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Give him 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, though, if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he'll get them inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Accelerating, and off he goes. The 30. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one fielded at the 5. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They go play action here on first down. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with fourth down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is brought in at the 21. Meanwhile, on the NFL scoreboard, a game going on in Chicago, and it's the Bears who are off to the early lead. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll be knocked down sideways at the 14.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
A gain of 3, second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run again here with West. And he'll power his way up near the 25. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with third down coming up.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On third down, it's West. Oh, and now West lost the football. It's out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Luck on first down. And some room to maneuver. Finding some room at midfield. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They'll run it with West. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. The Colts on third down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Luck. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he loses the football a second time. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it. And in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And able to find Dorsett. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Colts. They've got control of the football. They also have the lead as we start the 4th. From the gun, here's Luck. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Jack Doyle, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit, being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. And it sets him back for 2nd down. Now McCarron throwing on 2nd. And this is incomplete. He was trying to find Ardarius Stewart, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
On 3rd and long, it's McCarron. Over the middle, complete. That's Hansen. And they're going to get this one all the way up to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Second down following the run. To throw is McCarron. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. And give him 3 on the screen. He couldn't break free, and it's third down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. To throw, McCarron. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on fourth down, this is a big call.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity. He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the third in the game, and boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
Now here's McCarron again. Going to throw right side here, complete. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And down inside the 15 he goes. 11 more on that one and another first down. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
McCarron on first down. And he whips that one incomplete there.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
Here we go.
McCarron again here on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying, no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time. I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th.
Here we go now. Over. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Here we go.
Now McCarron, he's got to have this one. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off inside the 5. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Second down, 8. Here's West. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. Just a couple on the ground there. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble. Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
This is taken at the 23. It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit 000. McCarron with one final try. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for Indianapolis, it's a 4th win of the campaign as they get to 4-10 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Jets, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they will be at home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL. The Colts are